He said I was in prison. While I stood at the airport, the passport officer squinted at my ID, her brow furrowing. How are you traveling when you're supposed to be in prison? The words hit me like a gunshot. I froze at the customs desk in LAX, my boarding pass to London trembling in my sweaty hand. Surely I'd misheard. I'm sorry, what? I asked, my voice cracking. She frowned, typing faster, her screen filling with lines of data. Then she turned the monitor toward me. Jax Riley, convicted of armed robbery and aggravated assault, sentenced to 15 years at California State Prison. Status, incarcerated. My stomach dropped. That's not me, I stammered. I've never been arrested for anything in my life. I work at a marketing firm in Portland. She scrolled again, confusion crossing her face. According to this, you robbed a convenience store in Fresno 3 years ago and attacked the clerk with a tire iron. 3 years ago, I was in Portland, starting my first job out of college. I'd never even been to Fresno. But then she clicked one more tab and my blood ran cold. The mugshot. She turned the screen toward me. The fingerprints don't match, but the face sure does. I stared at my own face on that screen. The same brown hair, same green eyes, even the same tiny scar above my left eyebrow. It was like looking into a warped mirror. This is insane, I whispered. Moments later, 2 men in dark suits approached. One flashed a badge. Agent Foster, FBI, he said. Mr. Riley, we believe you're a victim of a larger criminal operation. They led me into a quiet room, shut the door, and opened a laptop filled with spreadsheets and photos. Someone's been creating fake criminal records for real people, Agent Foster explained. It's part of an identity fraud scheme tied to a private prison contractor called Cornerstone Corrections. They've been padding their inmate numbers to meet government quotas. I blinked. You mean they made up that I was a prisoner? More than that, he said grimly. They created entire fake trials, real lawyers, real case numbers, false records submitted into state databases. You only found out because you tried to leave the country. I sat there, numb, as he pulled up a transcript from my trial. There it was, my name, a fake attorney, a guilty plea I never made. Someone had literally sold my name to a prison company to fill a bed. For the next 8 months, my life turned into an investigation. I hired an attorney, gathered evidence of where I'd actually been during the supposed crime. Time cards, pay stubs, social media posts, even ATM logs. But the shadow of that false conviction followed me everywhere. I couldn't travel, couldn't rent an apartment, couldn't pass a background check. When my parents Googled my name, they found news articles about the violent robbery. My mom's voice shook over the phone. Jax, the man in this photo looks exactly like you. My sister wouldn't even speak to me for weeks. You need to tell me the truth, she texted. No one believed how deep the lie went. Then my lawyer uncovered something horrifying. 47 other people across the country with fake criminal records linked to the same company. Teachers, nurses, IT workers, even a pastor. Some lost jobs, custody of their kids, or entire careers because of crimes that never happened. When the story broke nationally, I found myself sitting under hot studio lights on CNN, explaining that I'd never set foot in a courtroom, let alone beaten someone with a tire iron. You don't forget committing armed robbery, I said bitterly. You don't forget something you didn't do either. 6 months later, the FBI raided Cornerstone Corrections. The CEO, Dale Finch, was led out in handcuffs, along with 12 other executives. Their fake system of ghost inmates unraveled completely. Still, it took months to officially clear my name. I had to stand before a judge, accused of a crime I never committed, and prove my innocence. My attorney presented time-stamped pay records and witness statements, placing me hundreds of miles away. The judge finally ruled, Mr. Riley is hereby cleared of all charges related to the false conviction. He warned it could take time for every system to update. It took 2 more years before the class action settlement came through. Cornerstone paid $50 million to victim. After legal fees, I received about $300,000. Not enough to repay what the experience had taken, but at least acknowledgement that it happened. Ironically, Dale Finch, the man who built his empire on fake prisoners, was sentenced to 15 years in federal prison, the same sentence I'd supposedly been serving. 5 years later, I finally stood at another airport, passport in hand. When I handed it to the customs officer at Heathrow, he glanced at it, stamped the page, and waved me through. For the first time in years, I wasn't a number, just a man walking free.